Welcome to the Gaming Pulpit. This is your host JD, and we are going to be talking about three subjects. The Walmart shootings. I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but I want to touch up on it. I normally wouldn't really fuck around with this subject, but I figure I need to definitely say something in particular with this shit. I mean, it's kind of apparently the politicians are at it again, blaming video games for all sorts of bullshit. But I definitely wanted to get my take on it. Um, and then also I wanted to talk about if Death Stranding exclusive. Once again I'm late to it, but I have some particular insights about this exclusivity or time exclusivity. I'm not exactly sure. And then lastly, I would like to talk about Microsoft and them considering their first parties or their first party development companies or developers to continue to make games for other platforms, because we do know that Microsoft has basically bought these developers in the process when these developers were in the process of actually making games multi-platform. So let's start off with these shootings, right? So a lot of foolishness has happened with with these shootings. It's a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation, and really nobody really knows what's happening with these shootings. They're becoming more and more frequent. You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. I can't really fathom what exactly is going on. But I can definitely say that they're not tied to any fucking video game activity. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they're tied to, political agendas, from these young kids and stuff like that. And, these kids trying to make some sort of difference by altering, the future by doing these particular things, trying to be a martyr, or they're trying to make a statement because of these deep-seated, ideals. And I don't want to go too political into this because I want to, keep it into video games. But to be honest with you, it's like, let's take this conversation towards the video game aspect. And basically, my point was, it has nothing to do with video games. Video games will not make you more accurate for shooting a weapon. If that's your first time, they don't gain access, easier for having, for getting these weapons. And I just feel like when it comes to politics, the politicians are really looking for they're looking for some kind of scapegoat because I think they know that it's political. You know what I mean? It's just so fucked up, like back to back. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to talk about the race of these particular shooters because I feel like they have something to do with it. I mean, consistently they are Caucasian. And I don't know what's going on with that one. Maybe they feel like they're threatened, or maybe they by the melting pot of the U.S. and these young kids don't know that that's the foundation of America. Either way, the politicians have basically stated that, which was ridiculous. Japan doesn't have any of these particular, shootings because they don't have video games. Like, who's vetting these reporters to do stories on things? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just dumb fucking people. Just idiots. Idiots all over the place. It's very annoying. It's very, very, very annoying when it comes to these stupid ass politicians. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then you have Walmart. You have Walmart taking down posters or anything that's violent, in the sight of, these shootings and what the fuck is that going to do? You know what I mean? What is that going to do? You take it down these pictures. What is it going to do by you removing these, mature rated games? What is that going to do when the next hour over, you're selling weapons in the Walmart in Texas? Are you fucking kidding me? Like you talk about a scapegoat. It's ridiculous. These people are fucking batshit crazy. They're dumb, dumbass people. God, they're so fucking dumb. It's just annoying when I hear about them and what they're trying to do. It's just stupid. They're idiots. You know what I mean? And people may think that this is not going to affect anything. This is just dumb politicians. But if they have their way, just like this fucking social justice warrior culture where everything is fucking offensive, but at the same time everything is correct, and everything, it's just dumb. All of this shit is so fucking stupid. You keep catering to these fucking people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or they're just making up their own fucking truths, and it's going to start affecting the video game industry for sure. Definitely, it's definitely going to start affecting the video game industry. It is. You know, um, let's just say this. You already got box art, which I'm not even gonna get into the box art of J- Japan games. Japanese games, where they have explicit content of what seems to be younger adolescent women with their fucking coochie popping on a box art. We're not talking about that because that's another topic for another day. But just the content has been restricted, and it's just step by step, little by little. You're going to get these changes where because everybody's offended by everything, we're going to end up giving up our freedoms because of this, or give up our freedom of speech, freedom of expression. All of that shit is definitely going to be compromised because of a small group of fucking people that are fucking loud. If And then same thing with Call of Duty. I would even say this. So if Call of Duty, right? If Call of Duty is being affected by it, and I think they are, they've been addressed regarding what do you call it, Activision and Infinity Ward. They've been addressed about them removing content because all of these journalists were like, it's just too much. This is too much. I can't take it. That's the type of shit that's gonna happen. Just loud fucking squeaky wheels that are gonna affect shit. That is the problem. Imagine if they get their way. Not even just banning things, but imagine if they're so loud and they're so squeaky, and then companies don't want the bad press, so they start taking things out. The Last of Us 2 is a violent game. The first one is a violent game. It is extremely violent. Imagine what would happen if they get their way and how that would affect The Last of Us 2. It would completely fuck up the tone of that game. Just to make sure that they don't get bad press because these loud squeaky wheels. I wonder how that's gonna turn out. That's what I wonder. Because we all know that's going to be violent. At least we think it's going to be violent. We don't know if they're taking things out as it is because of all these shootings and they don't want to be associated with the bad press. We don't know what's going on with that. We have no idea. But imagine though. Imagine what would happen with that. It already happened to God of War, by the way. God of War was extremely fucking violent. The God of War 1, 2, and it just got more and more violent the more the time passed on. You know what I mean? Brains jiggling when you stab them in the head, gutting things, stabbing people in the eye, breaking necks, females, whatever the fucking case is. And then all of a sudden God of War reimagining came out for the PS4. And we really didn't get that much violence in that game. That was my biggest gripe with the game. I wanted to see some fucked up shit in that game. It don't even have to be like trying to be over the top or top it. And I get that the scapegoat to this is, oh, he is a son that's following his wishes and shit like that. The son wasn't always present. The son wasn't always present with this shit. But it became like a less violent game. And I hope, Cory Borlaug, fucking, or whatever the fuck his last name is. I'm probably not pronouncing this shit right. But I hope he takes heed. and don't listen to these fucking people. I hope fucking Naughty Dog doesn't listen to these people. Shit, even Killzone was fucking compromised. I remember Killzone 2, where you would shoot somebody in their head, and that shit would pop, and their fucking head or the helmets would spin around. Then they had brutal melees in Killzone 3, where you're taking your thumbs and just dumping it in the fucking skull, slicing these motherfuckers. I mean, all sorts of shit. And then we get Killzone Shadowfall, and all the most violent thing that you can get, because you can't pop heads off anymore, because again, people want to appeal to most people, you know what I mean, or companies want to appeal to most people, you know what I mean. But the most that you get is slitting throats, and that's even like a quick one and done thing. But I hope these people don't fucking cater to it, because guess what, you're going to get a compromised version of these games, straight up. Now my next topic, I definitely want to talk about, let's take a look here, Death Stranding and its exclusivity. Now, I watch these GDCs and these lectures regarding game engines and shit like that, because a long time ago I wanted to program and things like that. I find the pieces of content very entertaining. I love it. I really do. I like to see the inner workings of the game. That's one of the reasons why I play Horizon Zero Dawn so much, to see all of the interworkings, to see why things look the way that they do, to see how they're pushing the consoles. It's kind of like tuning a car when it comes to a game engine. The thing that really kills me, right? The thing that really kills me is that I was watching one of these, lectures and presentations where they kind of talk about their engine and whatnot. And one of the guys, I was looking for it too. I was trying to make this video and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. But one of the guys was like fucking asking like these questions. Have you ever thought about putting it on PC? And the guy was, and he's like, no, we're a console exclusive, And the guy, another person asked the same question. I need to find this video. You know what I mean? I'll put it into the comments and update it when I do find a video. But another person in the studio, in the lecture asked the same question, but in a different way. And the guy was like, listen, we're owned by Sony. We're not putting our engine on a PC. At least at that time, he said that. So if he was so adamant about saying that, and saying, because they were kind of comparing the Decima engine to the Unreal engine, and they were saying how they got a little bit here and they got a little bit there, you know what I mean? And that's how, they took a little bit from everywhere, and it's very similar to Unreal, and how to program for it. And the guy was just like, yo, we're fucking owned by Sony. No, we're not putting it on a PC. And the guy was, they just wanted it to be on a PC so bad. Whoever these developers were. And shout out to Jemiah. I think this is from the Round Table Podcast. He's one of the members there. If you don't know anything about the Round Table Podcast, look it up. So there was a podcast in Sick Humor. You know what I mean? Sick Humor TV. Shout him out too. But he was like, yo, like, I don't think Sony wants people tinkering with their engine, because I'm pretty sure these engines have like little things and little snippets and little nuggets of information about the inner workings of the PlayStation, and they don't want people to discover any type of API or base coding that would make their engine look good, or whatever the case is. Whatever secrets that the PS4 holds is probably in the first party engine. And I'm sure they don't want people tinkering with it, or just fucking it up, or whatever the case, or finding out how they're doing things. If they're cheating and making things look good. The reason why the exclusives games look so good is because they are really good at faking a lot of effects, or whatever the case is. They probably don't want people to just figure that out just right out. Now, granted, these lectures are telling people how they did things, so I get it. I totally get it. But I really feel that they don't want people to like be looking into their shit, and I agree with Jemiah. But if the guy was so adamant about it, and if Death Stranding is fucking on is using their engine. Why the fuck? Why the fuck would this all of a sudden be exclusive and they putting things on PC? I want to actually say this because people are going to definitely mention probably in the comments if they find this video that um Quantum Dreams or Quantic Dreams has actually ported their engine onto the PC, and that's correct. That's their engine that they ported. That game company has their own engine, the people that made Journey and stuff like that, with the help of Santa Monica Studios. They ported that to there, but it was still that game company's engine, in-house engine. It was theirs, not owned by Sony. That's the difference. And this is not me being a fanboy saying I don't want the exclusive to go anywhere. I just think that Sony doesn't want to put their shit out there, point blank, period. And if Kojima and Kojima Productions wants to put it on a PC, then I think they have to redo their engine, probably with Unreal or something else. Take all of the assets from the Decima engine and then put it into another engine if they're going to do something like that. Because I can't see no other way, to be perfectly honest with you. Not gonna lie, there's no other way of doing this shit. So that's what I kind of see in this case. And speaking of exclusivity, Microsoft is, man, the shit that I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. But Microsoft has been seen on Twitter stating that, let me see, my bad, that they are considering their first-party developers to continue to make games for other platforms. I mean, we all know that that's the trajectory of what Microsoft is doing because they want to make the maximum profits. I get it. I totally get it. But what the fuck? You know what I mean? They're sending two mixed messages. They're saying that we need to do better with our first party. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they want to leave their first party there. And I'll say this before we end this video. Yes, I do know that Microsoft bought these companies before they were done with the multi-platform game, so they have to finish out that contract or whatever it is, and then it will be exclusive. But now they're talking about allowing them to do it, which will make them a fucking third-party publisher. This is not what Sony is doing because Sony needs the PlayStation to be the breadwinner. They need that platform so they can make the money that they've made with the platform. I didn't even know that the PlayStation was doing like fucking 40% of all financially all of Sony. 40 or 30 or something like whatever it is a high fucking amount. I had no idea. And you gotta look at it like that. You have to look at it like that. It's like crazy. They want to make their shit successful, so exclusives works. That's like Netflix have exclusive shit. That's why people will be watching it. You know what I mean? Disney's gonna have their own exclusive shit. Exclusive sells platforms or consoles or whatever the case is. And I don't know why Microsoft doesn't understand this. I get it. I don't get it. The only way I can see this is that they do not want their platform. They don't want to be restricted. And they don't care about the Xbox. They don't give a fuck about it. They don't care. And it's time for all the Xbots to fucking wake up and smell the coffee. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. I'm letting you know they don't give a flying fuck about your console. They want to make as much money as possible, so I don't know why you're holding on to some old ass memory. It's not the 360 days. It's over. But that's all I got here. Let me know in the comments what you liked or disliked about the video. And listen, if you liked the video, I would appreciate a sub. I would also appreciate you guys actually like sharing the video if you do like it. I mean, only if you do like it. But peace out.